children, back again with the part 2 of the lesson. The kittens turned out to be just the thing as Laurie started laughing over them and soon grew cheerful. That looks too pretty to eat, he said, smiling as Joe showed him the blancmange. It is soft and will slip down without hurting your sore throat, said Joe. Now, as soon as the kitten started to play, what happened? Laurie was cheerful and started to laugh looking at the kittens. Then he said that the dish blancmange looks very pretty and I hope it's very good to eat also. Till then the girl said that it will not hurt your sore throat. It is so soft that it will slip down without hurting your throat, she said. How kind you are, said Laurie. Now please take the big chair and let me do something to entertain you. No, no, you should rest. Shall I read to you? Asked Joe, looking at some books nearby. I have read all of them, and if you don't mind, I would like to talk, answered Laurie. Not a bit. Beth says I keep talking all day and never know when to stop. Is Beth the rosy one who sometimes goes out with a little basket? Asked Laurie with interest. Now both started to talk each other. What happened now? Now the girl said that you're very tired, you should take rest. I will read some story books for you, the girl will say. Till then the boy will say, no, no, only we will talk today. Till then Joe will say that one of her sister called Beth, she will be always telling that Joe is very talkative. She never knows when to stop. And now the boy is asking, Beth, is that the rosy one who sometimes go with the little basket? I have seen this girl. She is going with the little basket out. Is that one called as Beth? He asked Joe. Yes, that's Beth. The pretty one is Meg, and the curly haired one is Amy, I believe. Laurie paused. He then added shyly, I often hear you talking to each other. Sometimes when I see you all sitting around the table with your mother, it's looking at a picture. Laurie poked the fire to hide the sudden trembling of his lips. Now, the girl Joe said that yes, she is Beth. Till then, Laurie, he himself started to tell that. I hope the pretty one is called as Meg and the girl with the curly hair is called as Amy. And suddenly he gave a pause. Pause means he stopped a little and then shyly he continued his words. And he told that when you all sit around with your mother in your dining table, it feels like looking at a picture. Joe was touched. While he was unwell and lonely, she was happy at home with her mother and sisters. You could just come and visit us, she said gently. Mother would be glad to welcome you, and you will have jolly times with my sisters and me. Wouldn't your grandpa let you? I think he would if I asked. He is very kind, but he thinks I might disturb strangers, said Laurie. We are not strangers, we are your neighbors and you won't disturb us. Then Joe and Laurie started talking about books. Joe was delighted to find that Laurie also loved books and had read more books than her. Joe was touched by the words of Laurie because they were all happy in the house when Laurie was not well at home. Now she told him that you could have come to us, right? So that will your grandpa wouldn't let you there to our house. Now boy said, no, no, nothing like that. He used to leave me, but he thought that not to disturb the neighbors because we are all strangers, we shouldn't disturb the neighbors, my grandfather thought. So he never used to let me to go anywhere. If you like them so much, come down to our library, Laurie offered. Grandpa isn't home. Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid of anything, Jo replied, tossing her head. Laurie laughed and led her through the rooms. He let her examine whatever struck her fancy. At last, they reached the library, where Jo clapped her hands and danced with delight. It was lined with books, and then there were pictures and statues, strange little tables and bronze pieces, and best of all, a great open fireplace with quaint tiles around it. Now, what happened? The boy took the girl to the library. She was very happy soon as she saw lots of books lying there in the library with lots of pictures, statues, small table, the bronze pieces, and also the best of all was the open fireplace, which was quaint. Quaint means pretty and old fashioned one. So she liked all the things in the library very much. She started to clap her hands and dance with delight. No one can live on books, said Laurie, shaking his head as he perched on a table. Just then a bell rang and Joe flew up alarmed. It's your grandpa. What shall I do? Well, what if it is? You said you're not afraid of anything, remember, said Laurie, laughing. But it was only the doctor who had come to check on Laurie. Would you mind if I left you for a minute? Asked Laurie. Jo shook her head and went off to look at a portrait of old Mr. Lawrence. Now, as they were talking, what happened? Suddenly, they heard the bell ringing, calling bell rang. And now the girl suddenly stood up and she said, oh, is that your grandpa? Now, what should I do? Till then, the boy is asking, you said you're not afraid of my grandfather. Why are you scared now? Now, then he said that it's not my grandfather, it's the doctor who had come to check me out here because I'm not well. You don't mind, I'll go for a minute and then come back, he told her. The story will be continued in part 3. This will be the end of part 2.